Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Did y'all bring your cool glasses? Or am I going to be the only one? Appreciate everybody coming by. Yeah, I guess I'm live. I see we've already got a good crowd over there in the chat. Going to be talking about my laser settings and how I hooked it up and all that kind of stuff. Before we get into that, let me just see who's over there. We got Mark Lindsay, Darren Birds, Becca Miller, Ron Cleveland, Robert Petrie. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, I've just got a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, we need to make sure we keep not only Texas, but Florida as well in our prayers this week. Looks like it's going to get rough for some folks. And we got a lot of good friends down there. Russ Clarity, Javi, Elo's down there, Steve French, a bunch of folks down there in Florida. So hope that maybe that thing will take a big turn or something and miss it anyway. So everybody keep them in your prayers. Also, I wanted to talk about the meetup again real quick. Once again, just in case you don't know, I'm going to have a CNC / woodworkers / makers meetup September 30th. It's going to be hosted by my good friend Melinda Davies. It's going to be at her shop in Stockbridge. We'll have, well, she's got one CNC there already, one of the old metal sidewinders, and I'll be taking the 36 by 24. So we'll have a couple of CNCs there in case anybody wants to test them out or anything. I see I messed up on this thing. I thought this. Okay, there we go. I guess everybody can hear me okay, right? Somebody give me a okay on the sound check here. Yeah, so we're going to have, we'll have some prizes to give away, some giveaway stuff. If you got a really cool project you've done on a CNC, bring it with you to the meetup. Also, if you've got your favorite lawn chair that you like to sit in, bring that as well. Okay, thanks guys, I appreciate it. So yeah, try to make that meetup if you can. I'm even thinking about I may have a couple of Gatton CNC kits and we'll maybe do a drawing on those or something. But should be a lot of fun. I'm going to cater some barbecue. Oh, you hear me thumping on the table? Okay. It should be a good time. So hope y'all can make that. We've already got, probably a dozen or so folks that say they're coming. So looking forward to that. And like I said, it's not just for CNC folks. If you're a woodworker or maker or whatever you want to call yourself, you want to come on and join us. A couple other things real quick. I've got some 36 by 24 GarageWorks parts on order. I should have them probably in a week, 2 weeks at the most, I guess. Because I've had some folks ask me when I'm going to get those in. Also, I ordered along with those parts a plasma option that I may offer in the future for the 4x4. So anyway, I'll be doing a build on that, and I can't wait to get that going. So I've had a few folks ask me about that when I posted that old picture of throwback, whatever it was. And anyway, Robert Avery in the house, Michael Winman, Neil Shafto, Liam Hill, Nealon's Wooden Treasures, Appreciate you guys. We got about 19 folks watching now. One more thing I wanted to mention real quick. I've debated whether I want to mention it, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it. And this may come off sounding like a rant. If it does, so be it. I just want to say, I've tried to help out the CNC community for a lot of years. Used to sell metal sidewinders 10, 12 years ago. Did the shoestring budget series, gave over 4,000 sets of plans of those away. I quit counting at 4,000. I don't know how many there ended up being out there. They're all over the place. And then came out with the Garage Works first of last year. And then about June of last year, came out with a Gatton CNC. So, I've tried to do my part in helping folks get into CNC. But let me just say that if you look at my stuff, you go to my websites and you look at the Gatton CNC and you look at the Garage Works CNC, and you decide that that's not for you and you buy another CNC, that is fine. That is A-okay. I don't care. I'm just happy you're getting into CNC. But having said that, please, if you have an issue with your $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 CNC, the first phone call you make needs to be to the folks that you bought that CNC from, not me. So I've been getting people wanting tech support, and they don't even have any of my stuff. So I don't know. I try to support the people that support me. I got a great bunch of folks out there that have bought stuff from me, whether it be the Gatton CNC, the Garage Works CNC, whatever. And I'm pretty much available almost 24/7. I mean, as long as I'm up or haven't fell asleep yet and I get a Facebook message or whatever, I'm going to try to help you. Or, you got the two Facebook groups, we got the forum. We got a great bunch of people. I should say I have a great bunch of people that are my tech support team. They may not know it, but they are. So, Patrick. But anyway, come on, guys, use some common sense. If you spend $5,000 buying ABC company's CNC, that should be who you're calling for tech support, not me. So, anyway, all right, rant's over. Let's talk about laser stuff. I've got this. I've got my laptops out here. I got the one that I'm going to run this little machine here with the laser on it, but it only has 3 USB ports. So what I've been doing is to swap cameras. I just been pulling one, unplugging one, and plugging the other one out. So far, that's been working. So I'm hoping it works when I do it live here. I tried it several times and it works. So I'm going to switch cameras here. I'm going to disappear for a while and then I'll plug in the other one. Hopefully it will work here. Okay, are we back? I think we're back. I wasn't sure. And of course, this stupid camera over here has to play around and focus. And I can see right now I should have put some lighting out here because I'm too far back. But anyway, just before I went live, I ran this on a scrap piece, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. Probably not. Man, I should have put some more lighting out here. Can y'all see that okay? I hope you can. Anyway, I wanted to tell you what, I may run and grab a light right quick. because I got one right in there. Let me do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fire my studio production guy. Let me get this other light set up right here. And does anybody get any questions before we get started? I think I can get a little light on the subject here. You'll be able to see what the heck I'm showing here. When I was out here testing this earlier, it was daytime, so I didn't notice the shadows. Okay, I think that helps maybe a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, I'll hold this up again. Maybe you can see it a little better. But this is just a little test program I ran on. This is just an old scrap piece of plywood. I ran it earlier today. This actually looks better on a little nicer piece of plywood. But my laptop, I didn't have it plugged in, and the battery shut the computer off right before it was finishing the last W right here. So anyway, but what I wanted to show you, I get a lot of questions about my laser, and I just keep saying, well, eventually I'll get around to doing a live stream and show, and I'm just going to take this off. But for those of you who may not know, my laser is it's from JTech Photonics. That's the name of the company. It's a 2.8 watt laser. So it's not their biggest one. I think their biggest one is a 3.8, I believe. And I just took this 3/8 HDPE and made this plate where I could mount, because what you get with the kit is you get the driver board, you get this black wire here is right here. This is plugged up here. This power supply. You get the laser diode, and you also get those cool red looking glasses. So that's what came in my kit. I also ordered, this is an optional fan that mounts on top of this to help keep the laser cool. So I bought that as well. And I just made this little chintzy 3/8 HDPE plate where I can just put all of that stuff on the same plate. And of course I use the same mounting pattern as what the routers do. So I'll put this back on here now. And I've also got some links in the description. I've got some links to the JTech Photonic page. I think if you click on that link, if I remember right, it'll take you directly to the page that shows exactly what I'm showing you here. but it's 300, the laser kit that I bought, and it's still the same price. And I bought it over a year ago, I guess. $334.99 or something like that. I can't remember what this little fan was. It wasn't much. It was extra, but I don't recall what it was. So probably for about 350 bucks or so, 360, whatever. I got all of this. There's not that much to connecting this. Actually, you can see that they have this white cabling here. I've just got it kind of wadded up and have a wire tie twisted around, or a twisty tie, just to hold it to the drive board, since I put my drive board here right with it. Like I said, you've got your power supply that just plugs in. You've got the this white cable. Well, I guess there's two white cables. Yeah, one of them is from the fan. This is the fan. It goes right here. And then this other cable that goes to from the driver board down here to the laser diode goes right here. And as far as setting up in Mach 3, I have just some, this is just some regular 4-wire that I use when I, to run extra on the stepper motors. But I've got the red and the green pulled off here. I'm not even using those. I'm just using the black and the white. And right here on this little terminal, and if you want to go to that, if you're having trouble seeing this, you can go to that JTech Photonics website, and they've got big blown up pictures of this stuff and good diagrams. But I got the black wire on top, the white wire on the bottom, and then I have that going to, let me unplug this for a second. Oh, I guess I twisted it on there. This is again, you can see the red and the green wires right here. I'm not even using those. And then I've got the black wire connected to the ground, and then the white wire is connected to pin 17. And if you go look at the diagram on the JTech Photonic website, you'll see that they have a diagram that uses this exact same breakout board. So really easy to do, because it's only 2 wires, a ground and a, to whatever pin you're going to use. I use pin 17. As far as the Mach 3 connections, I'm going to do screen shares to show you those. And I know not everybody uses Carve Pro, but I will show you the post processor that I use that makes this work. Somebody was asking me earlier, I think it was on the Facebook Live when I was doing that, or no, maybe it was when I posted that little video this morning. Anyway, they were asking me about the M codes and stuff. The way I have this one set up is it uses M3 to turn it on and M5 to turn it off. And you'll see that when I go through the Mach 3 settings. So let's see who we got over there now. Trevor Carter's in the house, Ryan Ballard, Robert Avery, Joseph Connor, Cindy Stutes. The fan now comes with the kit. I didn't notice that when I looked earlier. It may be, it used to be a separate deal back when I bought it. Becca Miller and Larry Blair. Okay. Got 33 folks watching. So, man, I must have that thing on autofocus or something, because it keeps probably getting blurry for y'all, making you dizzy. Does anybody have any questions as far as how to connect it up? Like I said, there's not a whole lot to it. It's pretty simple. If not, I'm going to go on move to doing a screen share. and we'll go through the Mach 3 settings. Now I'll switch this camera out. Okay, so let me share my screen. We'll go to, let's see if I got Mach 3 open. I think I do. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go up here to, okay, first let me check to make sure everybody can see my screen. I'm assuming. Trevor says, what do you run for feed rate? I haven't really used mine that much. That example you saw me hold up a while ago, I think it was running like 20 inches a minute. Larry Blair, it's not how many inches a minute your CNC will cut, it's how fast, what kind of router or spindle or compact router. There's a lot of variables there. There's no concrete answer for that question. Yeah, John, I think that's supposed to say John Meyer or Meyer, I guess. Yeah, he has a good a video on how to set up. It's still coming up, John Meter. I think she means John Meyer. Anyway, and actually, when you go to the JTech Photonics website, when they first came out, and I bought mine not long after they'd been out, they didn't have as good as information on there. And it's just like anything, when it first comes out, they have to figure out a lot of stuff, how to get it to run with all these different machines. But now they've got a much better documentation on the JTech Photonics website about Mach 3, how to use it with Mach 3. And that's where I got all my information. So anyway, I'm assuming y'all can see my screen here. I see some yeps over there, so I'm going to take that as a yes. Over here, let's see, we go to motor outputs. And of course, you see the usual suspects that we would set up, just to set up. But then down here, you see I've got my spindle enabled, which I don't have a spindle, but I'm using the spindle control to turn the laser on and off, and the intensity. So like I said, I've got that wired on that breakout board to pin 17. There doesn't need to be any directional port or directional pin, excuse me. And then the step port is 1. And if you look on the JTech Photonics website, you'll probably see this exact same screenshot. The other thing is on the output signals, you'll see this one as well. I think theirs has something different there, but I'm using pin 17, port 1, and I've got output 1 enabled there. So not a whole lot of stuff. And then finally, we come over here to the spindle setup. And again, you'll see the same stuff highlighted right in this area right here where it says motor control. I've got checked use spindle motor output and the PWM control. And you'll see those same things on JTech's website, highlighting that area there. Let's see, that's pretty much it right there. And then one final thing is the spindle pulleys. And you'll see this exact same thing on the JTech side. Like I said, that's where I got most of my my settings and stuff. The max speed is set at 100 and the ratio is 1. So when you when you post your code, and I'll show you what I'm using for my post processor. Thank you, Lyle. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. You know, the same things on the JTech site showing that. So, but anyway, when you post your code, 100, since that says max speed, if there's a S100, that's basically telling the laser that that's full power. If you use S50, then that means it's half power or 50% power. So that's what you set up here for your pulley selection. And when I switch back to the camera, I can show you how I can do an MDI command and tell it like S10, and that will turn it on, but it's not even powerful enough to leave a dot on the table, and you can turn it on so that you can use that to center your beam on the center of your material or whatever you're doing, and it doesn't even leave a mark. You can just it's just enough to show you that where the beam is. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before I get out of this this screen share? I don't see any. No questions. Okay. William Hall's in the house. Robert Avey. Yeah, that's what that spindle pulley's doing. It's setting the percentage of the power with but you got to use you know, things of 10. In other words, you use 10, 20, 30, whatever to do it. Okay, if nobody has any questions on that, I'm going to go ahead and, so you have to set this up as a new configuration. I did, Becca. If you look, let me move this thing here. It's always in the way. If you look right over here on Mach 3, I have a profile called Laser 2.8 W or 2.8 watt. And I set this up as, yes, I do have a separate breakout board that I use. That's all it's got connected is those two wires for this laser. And I just keep them attached to that little breakout board. Now, if I wanted to add, and I probably will in the future, if I want to add the homing switches and touch plate and an e-stop and all that, I can add that to that same breakout board. There's still plenty of room on that breakout board for more inputs and stuff. So I can use that same one. Right now, that's all I have. I don't, you know, I just put this machine back together a few weeks ago on one of these live streams. So I don't have the limit switches or any of that. I figure I would kind of save that. Maybe we'd do that during a live show. You know, I showed them the other night, but maybe I'll actually hook them up from scratch on one of these live shows. Okay, so if nobody else got any questions, I'm going to get out of this screen sharing. And let's see. Okay, there I am. Tell you what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use this camera because I think this camera works better. Of course, I've got this stupid power cord in the way here. Here we go. Let me move it out of the way. Okay, so I think y'all might be able to see this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Mach 3 here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to the MDI page. And, of course, I've got all this turned off. So let me turn the drive box on. I guess I should have shown you how to get back here. how to turn this on, because like I said, you've got a separate power supply running here. There's a little on and off switch right here. You also have, it comes with a set of keys, so you can actually take these keys, you know, turn it, take these keys out, and that will lock it out. So if you've got kids around or something, they wouldn't be able to accidentally fire this thing up and hurt themselves. But you just put that key in, turn it that way. So to turn this on, you just turn this switch, and after it's been off, you won't get anything. Even the fans aren't going, but it has a little reset button right here. And when you poke that, now you'll see the power LED come on, and both the fans are running. So the laser's now ready to go. Another thing, let me throw a piece of wood up here so I don't put a hole in my table. Another thing too is this switch right here, there's a little toggle switch, and it's in the up position, which means that it's going to be controlled by Mach 3 or some kind of software. If I flip that on, you'll see that beam come out, and it's full on. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but it left a little dot right there where it was. But this is what I'm talking about. You can see on this material, I've got an X right here in the center because and of course the neat thing about a laser is you don't have to worry about clamping anything. You can just set it on your table. As long as you don't bump it or move it, it stays right there. You don't have to clamp anything down. So let me show you now. I'm going to go back to that MDI page, and I'm going to input G0 M3, which will turn it on, and then I'm going to go 10, which is 10% power. Well, am I not seeing it? No, it didn't come on. I must not have hit it right. Oh, I left off the S. That's why. G0 M3 S10. And now when I hit that, now you can see that the laser's on. I'm going to move this so I can watch it through here. And then now that I've got that on, I can just jog this to my, well, I got to get back on that page, Dave. Come on. Now I can just jog this over to where my little X is, and then I can reference this, and I'm ready to go. And of course, you can go back and either turn it off with the MDI, or you can just hit reset, and that will turn it off. Okay. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to the Mach 3 settings. I hope you could see everything on those screenshots. Basically, it's pretty much the exact same thing that you'll find on the JTech Photonics website. Like I said, that's pretty much where I got all my information. When I first got the laser over a year ago, they didn't have that great of stuff on there, and it was kind of just figure it out yourself. So S10 is 10%. That isn't enough to burn. If you left it just on for a really long time, it might put a little mark on there, but if you set it for 10, you're going to have time to move it to your where you're wanting to reference, and it probably not going to put a mark on there. Okay, so how do you adjust your laser focal length? There is a little brass knurled thing here, and I'm not going to try to explain the focus procedure. Probably better to just say go to JTech Photonics and you know, the instructions, it's pretty simple. You're basically setting your height, and there's no really fixed height. You know, this thing can work at a lot of different heights. Right now I have from the top of this surface to the bottom of where the laser starts is roughly about 2 inches. And just from the test pieces I've run, that seems to work reasonably good. But what you do is you're trying to take a piece of paper and you want to turn this on, and you're wanting to try to dial that, and you'll see that it's spread out, and you know, so you want to try to get the smallest point you can. Like when you turn one way, it'll go small, and when you keep going, it'll start getting big again. So you want to try to get it to where you're seeing the smallest point, where everything is all focused in the smallest circle you can get. And then, you know, you have it focused. And that's, you know, I know that's probably not a very technical explanation, but that's basically what a laser beam is. You know, you're trying to focus it all on a good point. Okay, wasn't sure if it was dial or by moving Z height. The post processor, and I'm going to show you that next, it doesn't have any Z height at all. In other words, I drop this down to, like I said, I use about 2 inches. And some people, I used to have a little block that I would set them on the workpiece, and then I would just have it where it would touch this, not the laser. I didn't want to mess it up, but it would touch the side of this HDPE, and that was my set height. I couldn't find it. I don't know what I did with it because I haven't run this thing in a while. But I just basically set it where I'm about a couple inches up and tried it, and it works. You know, I mean, I'm getting a good result. You can, you know, man, mosquitoes are bad out here. You could adjust the Z height manually and then work with the focus until you got it right. But I don't know if they give a recommended Z height on the JTech Photonics website or not. I think they do, but I don't remember what it is. I just know I've been keeping mine around 2 inches, and it's working. Lance asked, can multiple passes cut thicker material? Yes, but again, this is a 2.8 watt. It's you know, and this piece of plywood here is probably close to 3/4, so it would take forever to cut it. But if you take your fingernail, you can tell that that's cutting down. I don't know what it is, probably 15, 20 thousandths, something like that. So, you know, it's just not leaving a mark. It's actually cutting into it, engraving into it, I guess. So, can you run a relief type program to say engrave the inside of a bulb? I suppose you could. You'd have to, you know, if you're trying to engrave something with a laser that's, you know, a curved shape, then you need your Z. You'd have to, yeah. They say they come calibrated at 3 inches. Okay. I need to move my nut then and see if it, see it does. So guessing you have to work with a focal length, proper height setting. Yeah. Okay, now somebody's saying it's, Cindy Stoops says the factory set at 2 inches. I don't know. I just know I've been using about 2 inches, and it seems to work for me. Any other questions before I'll screen share again and show you the post that I'm using and how and where to put it in your Carve Pro so that it'll work right. I don't know, Ron. Send me some acrylic and I'll try it. I really haven't done much with this laser. I played around, you know, on scrap pieces of plywood and stuff like that. I really haven't used it for a project. And I don't know why. I'm always doing stuff with the router instead of the laser. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're going to try to do something that's curved, you would have to have the Z working in there as well. And the post that I use does not use the Z. It's constant. So I'm sure it could probably be done, but you'd have to change that post around. Can you change the Z height instead of focal? I mean, I guess you could change the Z height until you got that small dot, you know, smaller dot as possible. But, you know, you're supposed to set this at a height, you know, 2-3 inches, whatever, and then just dial that in to get the beam focused to a small point. All right, let's try plexiglass and then engrave the plywood on my CNN. Sandy's having some trouble typing. Bubba. Okay, Bubba just came in. We're going to start over. You'll have to catch up, Bubba. All right, well, let me go. Let me do another screenshot here. And I will show you. Well, come on. Okay. I already got shortcuts because I've been doing this today. But can everybody see my screen again? I'm going to assume you can. Somebody holler if you can't. This is the, and let me explain where this is here. You have to go, I might as well back up and go from scratch. I'm on my C drive and I need to go find C program data. And I want this one right here. Okay, thanks, Mark. And once you go to program data, I need to come down to right here, the folder that says Vectric. Then there's another folder that says Carve Pro. And here you can see there's 3 folders because I've had 7.5 and then I got 8.5 and now I got 9.0. So I'm going to click on 9.0 and then this is the folders that are inside that. And I'm showing you this because this is where you have to put the post. And you can probably get the post from the JTech Photonic website, or if you want it where it's been tweaked by me, you just let me know and I'll send the post. I'll maybe put it in the file section or something. But anyway, all the post processors are in this folder called Post P. And you can see, you know how Carve Pro is. When you go to pick a post processor, there's like a gazillion of them in here. But I have called this one, since it's using a JTech Photonic laser, it's right here. I've called it JTech Laser 2.8 watt. And of course, the extension is .pp for post processor. So we'll open that up and take a look at it. And this is, I believe, I can't remember if I got this off the Vectric website or the JTech website. Now that I think about it, it might be the Vectric website because I think these guys wrote it. But anyway, when you decide you want to call it something else, you have to change. You have to put whatever you, like I said up here. I called it JTech Laser 2.8W. Well, you have to put that down in here where it says post name, because whatever it has in here, that's what's going to show up in Carve Pro when you go to look for it. And when I got this, I think it said Mach 3 something or other. And even though I saved it and renamed the post processor here, JTech Laser 2.8W, it was still showing up as something else. So you have to go in and make sure you change it here where this post name is. And this just shows you that it's going to do, a lot of this stuff won't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me, really. But I know enough, just enough to be dangerous and figure out how to change stuff the way I want. Some of this stuff, when I got this post processor, it worked great. It would run the program great, but it didn't have, you know, the N100, N110, N120. It didn't have those line numbers. And I'm accustomed to that, and I like that, so that, you know, if the thing stops, you can look and see what line you were on and stuff like that. So I wanted it to have those line numbers. So what I had to do, oh, and another thing it didn't have is it also didn't have the file name in the header. Let me go back since y'all can see my screen here. Okay, like right here, it didn't have this. It didn't say when the file was created. It didn't have the material size. It didn't have anything. All it had, in fact, I can show you, because I think I've still got that on my desktop here. I don't, maybe I deleted it. Well, I've got it here, some other place. Let's go here. Yeah. Okay, this is how it looked like. You just see it starts out right away with code. It didn't have any line numbers. It didn't have the material size, the date the file was created, any of that stuff that I was used to seeing with Mach 3. And I thought, I'm spoiled. I want that stuff. I want to be able to see when I made it, what files, you know, what material size the program's for and all that, because this really doesn't tell you anything till you load it in and run it. And then, you know, you may not have the right size material in there or whatever. So what I did is I went in and edited some of this stuff. Like I said, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I just did a little bit at a time and found out that if you see this line right here, I don't know, I guess you guys can see this. It's got like a bracket, then an N, then another bracket before all of these different things. Well, that's what puts the line number on there. So right here, you can see where I've added that N to the MO5, blah, 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 all the way down here. All these rapid moves, all this stuff. It wasn't on there. So now when I run mine, so you can see there's the line numbers on every single thing. And there may be some folks that don't like that, but I'm just used to it because I've always had the line numbers, and it's helpful if it stops. You can look and see, okay, well, I need to come back and start at line N360. So anyway, so that's the difference. I've modified that post a little bit there, and I also put it where it would have all that stuff at the top. I guess they call it the header of the program. Let me just hit that. Yeah, all this stuff here. Tool paths used in this file. The tool. See, the tool that I have set up in Carve Pro, which we'll get into in just a sec, is tool number 28, and it's the laser 2.8 watt. Um, so that's what the post looks like. And like I said, if anybody wants it, they can either go to the Vectric website and download theirs, or if they want the one I'm using, shoot me an email or whatever, and I'll be sure you get it. Okay, now let's go to, since I'm in the screen share, let's go to Carve Pro. Let's see, we're doing kind of good on time. Jim Senicola in the house. How you doing, Jim? George Rothfuss. Okay, so I'm just going to open up this is that same program I've been running, my little Second Amendment program. Let me move this out of the way. Now, this is what I was talking about. When you come over here, you can see there's a gazillion different post processors in there. But again, I named mine JTech Laser 2.8 watt, and then I had to change it in that place in the post where I showed you, so that it would show up like this. And also, let me show you how. It says Tool Laser 2.8. So if I hit select, you can see I've just got it under end mills. It says Laser 2.8. And the geometry is set up where it's a 10 thousandths round, because that's approximately what the diameter of the laser beam should be once you get it in focus. So I've just got 10 thousandths diameter, 10 thousandths pass depth, step over 83%. That's probably default. I don't even know where that came from. And I've got it at a feed rate of 20 inches a minute. So any questions there on the Carve Pro side of it? Here you can see that's where that 28 come from. I just called it 28 for 2.8. And also, because this little Second Amendment thing that I'm doing is, you can see what it looks like. Well, it's all just a bunch of lines. So I use the quick engrave, wherever it is. Yeah, there it is. Quick engrave tool path to do that. Has anybody got any questions? It's awful quiet over there. Okay, well, I guess if there's no questions, I'll quit screen sharing. Close on the name, but I will live with it. How about I just call you George? You pronounce that good. Okay, so if there's no questions, I guess we're right at the hour, which is excellent. And we're back. Is there anything, anybody, like I said, any other questions or anything anybody wants to see me do before we get out of here? How does it know to turn the laser on and off without leaving dots? Becca, the only thing I can tell you is like I said, when I got this thing way back over a year ago, there wasn't really that good a documentation. And I was looking to see what other people were doing, and they were talking about a different M code. I think it was like M10 and M11, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Confound just says, did I get the M11P1 and M10P1 to work? No, I'm not using those. The post that I'm using uses M3 to turn it on and M5 to turn it off. And I know it's not going to show up good here. Let me see how close I can get this. I won't say there's not any dots in this, because there probably is somewhere if you look for them hard enough. But it really does a pretty good job of stopping and starting. The big problem is before is it would come on with, it would come on before it was ready to move. The laser would come on, and then it would kind of hesitate, and then it would move. And Con, I would suggest to you, if you're using M11 and M10, and again, I don't know for sure, but I would try to change that P1 to a P. I'm thinking on mine, let me go look at that code. I know somewhere I saw, let me find it here. Mine has P0. Yeah, it says G4, which is a dwell, but it has P0. So I'm assuming it's saying, yeah, there's a dwell, but it's nothing. So I don't know if you change that P1 to P0, if you get better results or not. But like I said, I'm not using the M11, M10. I'm using M3 and M5. And the spindle spindle control that I showed earlier with the screenshot over there in when you go to ports and pins and then go over to spindle setup. I got the PWM control and use spindle motor output. Okay. Oh, so you're not having dots then? Okay. I thought you were trying to say you had dots on there. Now I'm not saying this probably couldn't be tweaked a little more, but I don't see any dots on there. I'd have to look really close, I guess, because as I watch it as it's running, it doesn't come on until it's ready to move. But Becca, I know you've got, or at least I think you've got the same exact thing I have, a 2.8, I believe. So anything I can do to help you get it going, I'm happy to share my little setup and stuff, just like I've done tonight. If you have trouble getting it going, I think I think if you set it up the way I got it, at least get you in the ballpark and get you running. I have, like I said, I've done stuff like this, which is lines, and there's a lot of stopping and starting and turning on and off on this, and I've had pretty good luck. But I haven't done any kind of, I don't know, the kind of stuff like Michael Mertzke does, the really detailed shading type stuff. I haven't done any of that. But yeah, Becca, that's what I did. Is because I had tried it before. I guess I didn't tell the whole story about my JTech photonics experience, and I'm not knocking the guys because I like them. now. But I bought that laser. I don't even remember. I've had it over a year, and I bought, like I said, I bought the kit. I bought the extra fan. Somebody said it comes with it now. I'd have to look and see, but it was extra when I got it. So I used it. I did it. I had it out in my shop around back. I built a 36 by 24 garage works for a demo. I even shot a video or two of it, if you go back and look, which would be well over a year ago. And the laser worked so, but like I said, the documentation kind of sucked back then, and I could get it to burn, but I had dots and all that kind of stuff. And so, I ended up, getting busy. Then I came up with the 4x4, and, I have a lot of different things going on. So I don't, stay on one thing for any length of time. So anyway, I brought it around here after I got a demo 4x4 machine built in the garage over here. And I thought, well, let me go grab that laser. And I brought it and I put it on the laser, and it worked. Well, I won't say it worked great, but it worked the same as it did around there in the shop. But it worked just a few minutes, and then it quit. And I mean, it just wouldn't do anything. Couldn't even get the laser to come on. So I contacted the guy at, I can't think of his name. I think it's J-A-Y, I think. But anyway, I contacted him, and, he's like, well, what'd you do? What'd you change? And I'm like, look, I just was running it. It just quit. It was on 1 minute, next minute it was off. So anyway, and I explained to the guy that, I said, probably total, I got probably less than 5 hours on the thing, because I really haven't run it much. And anyway, to make a long story short, he eventually, after some conversations with me and some other folks, he did send me another one. But when it came, I didn't get the whole kit replaced. All I got was the diode laser, which apparently that's all I needed. But it came in a priority mail box that was, I mean, it looked like it had been run over by a truck. It had a big tear in it with a hole. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know if he sent anything else and it fell out or what, but all I had in it was just this laser. But anyway, I was pretty disgusted that, it took me forever to talk him into saying, hey, I'll send you another one. And then I get it and the box is all tore up. So I just kind of threw it in the box over there, and I hadn't touched it in a long, long time until probably a few months ago when I built this one for a demo here in the garage. This is the small 24 by 18. And I thought, well, let me just try that thing out. And so I tried it out, and the laser came on. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this laser's okay. So now that I knew it was going to work, then that's when I started digging in and getting the stuff off the Vectric side, off the JTech Photonic side. And like I said, after a year's time, they got a lot better documentation. So I'm pretty happy with it now. I don't know what, every time, something like that happens. I mean, I guess every once in a while it's going to be a dud, but that first one I got lasted about 5 hours. And, I just didn't like that. They're like, well, what did you change on it? And I'm like, I don't know how to change anything. So I did, it was all factory settings. It just quit working. But anyway, it's all water under the bridge now. But it's a good little laser. I know a bunch of folks that have them. Michael Mursky's had one for a long time. He had one on his X-Carve, and of course now he's got it on his big GarageWorks CNC. And I think he's got it working fine. And I think well, I'm pretty sure he runs UC CNC with his. So, okay, we got 42 viewers. Thanks everybody for hanging in there. I guess we'll go ahead and get off. Any other questions or anything anybody wants to see before I get off of here? Also, while you're thinking about that, I don't know when I'll do another one of these. Like I said, I'm not keeping to any kind of schedule. May do one Wednesday and then may not do one for another couple of Wednesdays or whatever, or may not even do it on Wednesday. I don't know. Just so happens Wednesday seems to work pretty good for me. And we have a relatively good turnout here. I really thought these things would be more like 10 or 15 people, but we got 42 watching now. But anyway, when we get ready to do another one of these, I've had a lot of questions about my favorite toy. I love this thing. I know some people have gotten them and had trouble getting them going, so I thought, well, maybe when I do another live stream, I'll show how to do this from scratch, how to load the driver, how to get it going, how to configure it in. You're welcome, Joseph. Reginald, thank you. You know, so I could either do a thing on this, on how to install one of these, or we could talk about the rotary axis. I've had some questions about that here recently too. And you know, so far on all these live streams, it's always kind of been about GarageWorks, the GarageWorks CNC, or that's what I'm using to do the demo and stuff. Okay, Ron, are you talking about the rotary axis? He says, yes, if you do, maybe I'll use mine more, but I don't know if he's talking about the pendant or the rotary axis. Anyway, what I'm getting around to saying is pretty much all of these settings that I show you guys, even though I'm showing you on a GarageWorks CNC, they still work with a Gatton CNC because I build all these machines the same way. So if you build them the same way I tell you to build them, a pendant. Okay. Thank you, Ron. Yeah, I'll probably do that one next because I know there's somebody in here, Larry. I think I saw him on here earlier. I think he was having trouble with it, and I don't know if he ever got it to go to work or not. Sean, how you doing, bud? But anyway, I guess I'll figure on doing the next one where we'll show how to connect these. You know, there's all kinds of, also, by the way, if you're wanting to see what I'm talking about, there's a link for this in the description. This one happens to be, you know, you can see the cable hanging here. This is a big long USB cord. They do make them wireless, and I'm not a fan of wireless stuff because then you're dealing with batteries and all that. So I opted for the USB. That way it gives me another cable to trip over when I'm out here. But I love this thing. It's really neat. The more you use it, the more, George, I usually give at least a day or two notice. I think today, because of the holiday Monday, I think I put it up, when was it? Monday? Yeah, you need to follow me on Facebook because that's how you find out everything. Or if you look on YouTube, you should, you know, if you go to my YouTube channel, it'll show that I got one coming up. But you know, because I always set the live event at least 2 to 3 days. If I know I'm going to do one on Wednesday, I try to set it up on Sunday, no later than Monday. So yeah, if you're following me on Facebook, you'll get notifications, or even YouTube. If you go subscribe to me on YouTube and you click that little bell, then you'll get notifications when I'm going to do a live thing. I don't keep them a secret, guys. I really don't. I'm just tickled that we get this many people watching this stuff. And hopefully it'll help. If you guys would let me know in the comments, not here on the chat because they go away after we sign off. But let me know some kind of way on an email or Facebook message or a comment on this once it becomes a video. And thank you, Mark. If you're getting anything out of this, because I mean, if nobody's getting anything out of this, there's no sense in me doing them. But I know I get a lot of questions in email, so I try to say, okay, after so many emails, I'm like, well, I guess I need to do a live stream on this and show. So anyway, I guess that's it. How about all the enhancements that are out there on your designs? That would be great. I'm not sure what you mean unless you're talking about the mods that other folks are doing. Chad, Mancrafting, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'll, anything anybody wants me to talk about, I'll be happy to do it. If I can show you something, like I said, we're going to have some cool stuff because I'm going to be doing that plasma deal coming up here pretty soon. I can't wait to do that. I'm hoping to make something that will cut. I was looking at a plasma unit on Amazon the other day that would cut up to 1/2 inch. So that's pretty awesome. So anyway, well, I guess I'm going to get out of here. Going a little over now. Appreciate you guys coming to watch. Always appreciate your support. Couldn't do this without you. So anyway, I'll see y'all next week, I guess. Don't forget, everybody keep Florida and Texas in your prayers. Keep our fingers crossed on that deal. Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all. Everybody take care. Good night.